You ready, buddy?
I'm ready. Yeah.
I'm ready. Fucking born ready.
Born ready.
Right, let's go.
The Fly Fifer and Just Another Monkey. Time to backpedal forwards down the rabbit hole.
Seconds away, round 2.
We're in.
Hi, good evening, and hello everybody. If you're watching, I'm here with Alan, the man. You've heard the introduction, or hopefully you've listened to the introduction. We've gave you enough time to listen to the introduction, but here we are with session 2. Alan,
Yes.
how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Welcome to the inside the monkey's head, and that's maybe where you want to start.
Aye.
Is the name Just Another Monkey?
Just Another Monkey. Just Another Monkey has a fair old collection of items in this head of his, by the way.
Oh, there's some shite. This is probably the biggest pile of shite. There is 250,000 words in here, and this is a guy, the character's name's Adrian, and he has issues with society, he has issues with life. And in there, he refers to a society that has 2 different breeds. So the schemes breed scheme monkeys, and there's every echelon of monkeys. So you've got a really smart monkey, right down to the one that does proverbially stick his finger up his arse and he does nothing. But in there, so the monkey has been with me for a long, long time. There's a cracking wee doodle in there. The monkey bashing symbols. That's what I've had on my back, in my mind all the time. And the whole point of that one is the barriers. But it didn't matter where I was, there was always this fucking monkey on my back smashing the symbols.
Yeah.
And see, trying to run away from that noise, James, it's a troubling thing.
And that's what you put out in the introduction, was building barriers.
Yes.
This we're going to try and put into a pamphlet to give to people. Yeah. That's what we're going to try. That's cool, ultimately what we're trying to do with this. But Alan, as the introduction says, ready to backpedal forwards or forward. Let's go backwards. We've heard the introduction. We've heard a bit about what you're about. But who am I sat opposite now? Now, here today, not 5 years ago, 20 years ago. Today, who is the man talking to everybody today?
I would say that this is that wee guy behind that wee warrior that's came out and he's grown. He's now a man. He was a man in, I would say, 2019 that thought he was everything that he was supposed to be, a proud father, da-da-da-da-da. Then that last fuck up with the removing 28 years of my life to show me another lie. I had to venture back in. I had always known that I'd left something behind, and that's what I'd left behind, the wee tiny version of me, the original. So this is me and him, a collaboration of us both. So it's me and the monkey, whatever you want to call that other side. Aye. And I would say it's that schizophrenic side, certainly me, which I would never deny, because we all have it. We all have 2 sides to us. It's the yin, the yang, it's the left, the right, the good and evil, they're all there. And that's the thing, I can be the nicest guy in the world as long as I'm allowed to do what I want to do. When I start feeling that pressure externally, whether it be rules, regulations, I'll rebel against them, because that's my natural primeval instinct, and that's where the monkey comes in again.
So we'll get to the monkey in a minute, but I think I think it's amazing that you've brought me on this wee journey with you to this point. Wherever we go from this point. Organic. And I've loved that. For the day I met you, it was the first thing you said to me, this has to be organic, James. There can't be this, there can't be that. And I was like, all right, well, that works for me, because the Fly Fifer flies by the seat of his pants all the time. There is no script, there is no doodle. I have nothing in my hands where I'm recording anything. I hope that is recording. But
it'd be nice if it went on the YouTube.
It'd be nice, if that's recording, we'll get that on YouTube for you all to see, Alan and I as well. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So, we're dealing with a mixture of you and the monkey. Explain the monkey, because you were just hitting on that when I interrupted you a minute ago. So
the monkey is to anyone else, for the professional side, would be the split personality as far as I'm concerned. Again, I'm not medically clever at explaining this. I can only get as I've seen it. And at 51, I'm the only guy that can see the journey that I've had, the journey that I've made and walked. It's been my journey. At night, I go to sleep, and when I shut my eyes, it doesn't matter who's next to me, who's around about me. It's only me and the monkey. I have to justify things to this other side of me. And it started way, way back. And when you're talking rabbit holes, you're going down a very, very dark, dark hole. But that was my life. And I had to be the light shining in that darkness in order for me to come through it. With whatever assistance was there, whatever it may be, spirituality, God, all these things. I have my own personal views on all of that, but I know I would never have got to 51 years of age, sat here next to you, if these things hadn't happened in this almost, cycles. And the cycles that brought me here, I can look back, and like I say, when I went in and I nosed about and I just made sure that everything, the way that I've said it in the story, in that wee pamphlet that I wrote today, was that I had created a prison. I had to create a prison inside my own mind. The wall was my first retreat. As a wee guy, just taking all the bullshit that was around about me. No, the ACEs factor. That's every adverse childhood experience. There's the grade 8 that. I don't know if you know that. I tick every fucking box in every one of them. It means nothing until the trauma kicked in. So at 8, 9-year-old, I think I must have been, that was the punch in the face that knocked me fucking sideways. I could not handle it. I couldn't deal with it. And to be in that dark place for all that time, it didn't matter who was next to me, where I was, the monkey or whatever it was. I would always refer to the monkey because he's the closest thing to me that I know, and it's the primeval side of me. So maybe it was me and the monkey fighting the demons. That maybe makes more sense. But to be a young laddie faced with that kind of trauma, and obviously it was a sexual abuse thing, it wasn't bad. I mean, and if I say that's exactly what happened, you'd be like, in the grand scheme of things, you go off lightly. But it shouldn't matter, because of what it does to a young mind, and it drives a young mind into a very dark place. So I created the prison. I had to create a cell to hide this fucking this thing in, because I couldn't be exposed. If I was exposed for that, I was trying to deal with all the bullshit, but I couldn't be exposed for that. That would put me over the edge.
And see, monkeys, like you're saying, it's funny that you've adapted that, because there's so many guys' stories that I've listened to, and they've all said, I've got to tell the monkey to shut up. You know what I mean? There's so many people out there refer to the monkey. And this is like bizarre primeval shit. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Everybody, right, even the rich and famous. 100%. I mean, what's the guy that does this? Oh, Guy Martin. Wrote a whole book about Dave the monkey. He's got to leave the monkey elsewhere. He says, because the monkey tells me to take that corner.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Aye.
That's George Michael. He says, me and my monkey, fucking Robbie Williams.
Aye. He says, Guy Martin says, drop a gear. The monkey says, no, accelerate. You know, and he's wrote a whole book about it.
You know, in that one there, because that one, I tried to do that in the sense that, obviously, portray it as somebody else. It's just a fictional story, but I'm right through that. I'm fucking right through that, because it's my beliefs. It's what I am. But I can't introduce them to society, because they'll think you're a fucking loony. You're in that job, and I get that. But in there, he has the way he breaks it is there's two sides to the mind. You've got the mind that is the go-getter, but you have the brain, which is the older brother. So the monkey and Guy Martin, that analogy works as well, because the brain will say, "Didn't do it." The mind will say, "Fucking do it." Yeah, when I'm in a dark place, and you've got to remember, I'm older than Guy fucking Martin. I'm older than Robbie Williams. So the monkey theory, just there's loads of things that appear in my life.
I think your monkey's been through a bit more shit than theirs, to be fair.
Throws shit. You know, it fucking knows how to rebel. That's for sure.
Knee deep, elbow deep.
Best one, and I don't know if I mentioned it before, was Roger Waters.
Right.
I met the Rogers Waters album in 92. That was, you've got to remember, 91 was a big year. That was a fucking boom. That was a firework for me. Everything went just smashed to smithereens, everything. I rebelled against life. I'd had too much. Society come at me, the prison come at me, the psychiatric stuff. Everything was within that one wee cloud. When I come out the other side, I was punch drunk. I didn't want to be here. This fucking clown is telling me that I'm going to be responsible. I have to stand up and salute and play daddy for fucking 28 years. I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't prepared, because I hadn't dealt with the cloudy bullshit, you know, like the cartoon where there's fucking fireworks coming out. That's what was happening, and that's what I'd done. I'd had all these charges, and life was really quite bad. But passing through that, I found the Roger Waters CD. And again, nothing just happened. I didn't go into a shop and say, oh, that's nice. It doesn't happen. It came
to you.
I now have, I think I have 3 copies of the same album. It means that much. On the front cover, there is an eye on the telly and there's a monkey. And that, the monkey sits in the corner, he writes the joke down in his book. See, when I heard that started ringing bells because things had always happened. And it's when you know your introduction to going backwards. I have to go backwards because my whole life is backwards. I'm probably so much backwards myself. But when I take my thoughts and how things manifest inside my head, I have no outside. I didn't have education, so I make it up in my own head. And then people give me the words, they make it work. So if I hear Roger Waters when I'm 22-year-old, but I've already had these thoughts for a long time,
right?
I'm thinking, this fucker's listening to me. Pink Floyd.
What album? You remember the album name?
It's Amused to Death. That's what it's called. And see, when it works, when you listen to it, you're like, oh, fuck. It's like, honestly, it's like the camera's been watching me and saying, let's fucking record this because he's funny. My hand, he smashes his hand and he puts it in a bowl of holy water. Right. My hand was smashed to smithereens. That knuckle's probably here. That one's there. This one's buckled up there. A bone shot through the back of that one. And there's no point in me glorifying how the fuck I done that. You just need to know that this asshole rebels against life and society because if I hadn't been bombarded with it, I would never have had to rebel against it. Right. But at 51, when you're asking who am I right now, I'm the guy that lived through it all. If I ever smoke dope, I can be so relaxed and so fucking at ease and at one with everything. I used to love it. Yeah. See, now, I can't do it now. I can't touch drugs. Because what happens is, it's like the monkey. This will make sense when you put all the bits together. Is the monkey wants to go to the doctor and say, listen, you need to have a word with this guy. He's off his fucking head. But I'm the straight one.
But you're I get
I'm the one that has been, the acting stuff. That's me. The contracts manager for civil engineering gangs, that's me. Going for contracts manager, contract supervisor, site manager for an apprentice. In the space of something like 5 years. So I know how to climb. Yeah. But if you take that and put it in the dark side of the world as well, I still climbed in that. If it's the pubs, clubs, everywhere I go, I seem to climb. Because that's me and the monkey we fight.
I think I hit on that in the introduction where I said, don't fucking sell yourself short because there's a beautiful mind in there. And you can see that in some of the drawings that you let me see. I mean, some of the fucking pictures, mate, they tell a story themselves. He doesn't need you. But do you know, when I'm looking at the pictures, I can hear you. You're there. And it's like, Jamesy, this is this and this. And I'm like, fucking hell.
That's why I thought here would be absolutely
That's why being inside your mind today is... spot on. And when you say, come to my garage, we'll do it in my I was like, fucking right, we'll do it in your garage. And then when you sent me that video, I was like, Alan, you do not get more authentic than that. How about that for growing,
see, I have
organically
3 daughters, a wife, we have a house. If you go in there, you'll see remnants of me. You'll find clays in the cupboards. You'll find
it's beautiful. It's a family home.
It's a family home, but it's no me. It's no this. This me. All this, and that's again, it's that thing. And the Pink Floyd.
And by the way, he's got himself quite a good fucking man cave, by the way.
It would be absolutely fine, yeah.
The monkey's cage is not too bad.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's a few treats in here.
But the music thing. Over here, you'll not see it, but there's an old stacking system. There's 5 bits there. I think there was only 5.
It's a Denon as well, eh?
It's lovely. The speakers, they're in Pig Farts. They're big, massive speakers, but they're wee Denon ones as well. I didn't get that news. There's another music system up there. Alexa gets plugged in there. The music on my phone is the same. It's everywhere. Music has been my companion. It soothes that fucking monkey when he's no happy. When I was younger, because of the confusion, you just... I think the hardest thing for me was there was always something else inside my head and I never knew what it is. This one here, the guy has something in his head, he doesn't know what it is, and it's another guy, believe it or not, that actually draws it out of him. Doesn't he put him into a trance, but he's in a trance-like state where he's so relaxed and it comes out. It overpowers him and this voice comes out. It's an ancient voice that's been stored in the back of his memory. It's just been guiding them. It's been and that's how I've always been. I've always felt guided in life, but I had no fucking idea what it was. So when you're 21 and the world's coming in, you're like, you know what? Fuck you.
Aye.
The guidance would say to me, oh, let's do this. Okay, let's go that way.
Aye.
Oh, I'm going to drop your keys on the floor here. I want you to bend down and pick them up. Then you look up until I tell you, and I look up and I've missed something.
Right.
So if I'm breaking into somebody's car, and this is a real story, I've bent down to undo a bolt as the police come running past, chasing the guy that's at the passenger door. They chased him, but because I bent down at that time, they never saw me, and I just go into, you're in trouble, and just wandered away, no bother, like a fucking fish upstream. These things have always been there, and through that whole journey. So, although the hardship at 9, that was hard, and then you for I don't know. I mean, certainly secondary, so it's a good 2 or 3 years dark. I mean, you can't, unless you've been in that kind of mental stress, you have no idea. Trauma, fuck he says, this is real. This is the difference between life and death, and it's a very, very close thing. And that's where I was for a long time. It didn't matter where I was, who I was with. Nothing would appease this fucking noise, this darkness that was smashing my brain.
And there was things feeding that noise, that darkness. It wasn't just that you were inherently bad and you were going to be a bad cunt. You were driven to where you were because of that noise. That noise was reactive. You were reacting to the noise and becoming the monkey that you were at the time. Yeah. I
had to escape, and when the escape came, yes, it was solvent. They call it solvent abuse. That fucking thing saved my life, and I know it saved my life. But again, it's only by going backwards that I realised just how powerful it was. Because if you imagine everything, and I explain it fairly well in there, and in the doodles, my shoulder has been fucking sore for a long, long time. It's never felt better. But that's only because the bag of shite that I've carried. See, when I realised in 2019, that doesn't belong to me. That doesn't belong to me. That's not even fucking real. That was never mine to carry, but I dragged everybody's shite over my shoulder, and it fucking hurt me for a long time. But where I thought I was big and tough and everything else, because I had avoided the self, the inner fucking child, the young one that I'd left behind the wall while I went out there trying to be, I mean, maybe it is multiple personalities, I don't know, because there's me and there's the monkey, but there's the self. So maybe it's a trinity, the three of us, that we all collectively get together. But the wee guy, he was what I tried to protect, but in running into the battle, I actually forgot I'd left him there.
You left him.
It's like, you stay with your Auntie Jean, I'll fucking sort this. And that's what, and I forgot, where was it? Somebody says, did
pick
you
up
know you ever said? Tell her to phone me. Before phones. But no, I think going back to the original wall, the wall was great and hiding everything, but see, when the trauma came, the trauma just overpowered everything. This was one fucking set of demons I had never seen, and it scared me. It scared me to the point that I was on the precipice of going over so many times. It would end, it would stop the noise, as far as I'm concerned, at that time as a wee boy. I now know that it wasn't, it's a test. And I threw up my hands and I says, look, and this is God's honest. Again, I have that much belief that if I'm lying, God's going to fucking strike me. He's going to batter your camera. He's going to knock them. It's not going to happen. But I said, look, hands up. I cannot fucking do this. If this is what life is, take it to fuck. Let me go, because this is shite. The next minute, a pal for first year, oh, you ever done this? No, I've no. What is it? Come with me. And it was, honestly, it was like fucking, I can't remember what it was, Humpty Dumpty. Let's go through the square window. We went through this window, and honestly, see that bag? That bag was heavy at the time. It was bigger than a rucksack. And what it allowed me, it was like somebody meets you and they're like, Mr. Carrick, would you like to take a seat? Like, I've got this bag. Put your bag there. No, but I need to take it with me. Listen, you didn't need that where you're going. Leave it there. Get on the way back. You sure? Aye. Didn't open it though, because there's a lot of fucking shit in there. I didn't want anybody to see. Nobody. No family, no nothing. On I went. Fuck me, honestly. Seatbelt on, and off I went. I just took off. See, getting up there, James, it was the beautifulest thing I'd ever met. I was in this other world, a whole new world. All the shite was a wee down there. See, escaping for that, because obviously you come back, there's your shite. Aye. But still, that wee thoughts in your head, like, that was fucking great. I'm doing that again. I had to do it again. Society, you're not allowed to sniff glue in public. You can't go into the bar and have a sniffy glue.
No. But you can go and get pushed if you want.
Here's a cracker. I would go like that. This is what happens. And I don't know, it's not the same for everyone, but I know what happens to me, and that's what it is that gives me that. It's not that I think I'm special, it's just I know that my mind has been went over to the other side so many times. I can't, again, it's a backwards thing. I didn't get to bring it back with me. What you get is 8:10 there, and a time loop to somewhere else 2 hours later.
Right.
I'm on the old railway line, and I was a railway kid.
Right.
The amount of stories on that railway is fucking phenomenal. But I'm on the railway, and there's other people there, and then it's like 3, 2, 1, boom, you're under. 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room. I'm standing in the old Willie Muir, if anybody knows the Grant and Royston area, in the Willie Muir, with a pint of lager in my hand, talking to a guy there who I know really well, a guy who traded in commodities, shall we say. And I've got the pint, man. I'm looking at the pint thing. The fuck did that come from? He's saying, the fuck is that smell? But I'm halfway doing the pint, and I'm thinking, how long have I been here? What the fuck have I been talking about? And again, fast forward to the time when you start working it out, and you're thinking, who was in charge there? Because again, if I smoke dope, something comes on me, and I become this other alter ego, as we all do. You take drink, drugs, or anything else. You influence that mind of yours, and then something else takes over. So for me to bend my mind over, that other person wants to talk about it. It's like, have I worked with this cunt? He's not right. He's fucking wrong.
I love that, actually. I love that analogy of it. Because you used another one to say, when we were talking at the bridge that time, you used another one where it got you out of jail, so to speak. Because you used it. You were in a, let's say you were in a cop car, and you fucking sat there, and you'd just been up to no good, and you were like, the fuck up, what am I doing here? And of course they knew you at this point, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here, boys? What's going on?
Oh, what you done?
Brilliant. Brilliant hearing it. Obviously, different
again,
world.
There are all stories, and there is humour. Somebody keeps they send me messages saying, I find you really fucking funny, and I drove away. But in a 3-minute TikTok, I can't give you the funny side. I need to give you a backstory and condense it really quickly. But this
which
works.
Incidentally, while you're there, if anybody's listening and no following, Just Another Monkey on TikTok. Are you on any other platforms? Are you just using TikTok just now?
I'm on Twitter, but only going there to rip the piss out.
Fair enough.
I mean, again, it may come, but when 2019 rolled around and that last part of the fucking jigsaw came in, you think, come on. For me to find out that I'm no the paternal, it's just a fucking reflection of 21-year-old being told, he's no the paternal, and you're like, I've seen this before. I've still got that T-shirt. Is this your last attempt? Because obviously there's me and the monkey, and we fight the world. If you imagine the world was coming at me again, its last attempt to bring me down, because that's all it's ever done. It only ever tried to bring me down, and that was its last attempt. And that's a fucking feeble effort, but you have to do a bit better now, you know. I've been through the ringer. I've battered I've beat myself up for a long, long time. I still do. I'm still thankful every fucking minute I get in life, but because I beat myself up that much, there was nothing left. There was nothing else to do. I'd done a wee poem, and I put it on TikTok, and somebody says, oh, is that you arguing with the demons? No. This is a straight fight, one-on-one with me and the devil, because it's the only thing that's tangible that everybody knows the story of. He tried to get me on fucking numerous occasions. The whole battle was about that. About 21, I rebelled, and I says, do you know what? You and your fucking army, let's just have it. Let's just get this on, because for a young boy, I want to go. I didn't want to be here. But as an older, no wise, but an older monkey at 21, I fucking want it. Let's just deal with it now. If I'm going in style. I'm going out fucking kicking and screaming. Because that when I made that statement that I didn't want to be here, and I put my hands up, I didn't want to be here, James. It was fucking horrible. Life was fucking really, really
This is 21.
Horrible. No, this is about 12-year-old, 13.
Right.
We're in first year.
Further back,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then it was like, right, okay, you've learnt your fucking lesson. I'm going to throw you a line here. There, try that. And it's like, there's the glue. Wow. So it took me elsewhere. Then obviously the crime come in, because I had to pay for that, and there was no money to be had, so I'd go and make my own. Pals that were my age, I can't associate with them. They're fucking daft in the head. They want to sit and watch fucking reruns of Grease and things like that. I need to get out there, because if I sit still, guess who's coming to the party? The fucking asshole's going to get into my head, and it doesn't matter. I'm going to want to go. And they're all talking sex and doing this and doing that and blah blah blah, and I'm confused because I don't know if what's happened to me has tainted me and turned my head. And again, that's where the rebelliousness and the hands went up. But when the glue come in, I needed to keep going. I couldn't have conversations. So if this guy's talking about paedophilia, gays, things like that, the hackles go up. I didn't want a conversation, but I have to be very conscious without moving anything that I'm not going to do something like, let's talk about gays. Right, I'm just going to get my coat. It's that. So the uncomfortability, it was fucking horrible. And people that have been there will know exactly how this works, because you didn't tell anyone. It's yours. And you spend a lot of time hiding that. So the one thing I did notice, that in order to pay for the escapism, I had to earn the money. But what I noticed was the thrill and the chase, which in that, I explained that as being adrenaline. Now I've got mountain bikes, now I've got motorbikes. I've learned all these things. There was other things that could take me up. The glue took me away, but this could be a temporary thing. Smoking the dope, it appeased it, it kept it doing. And by that time I had built the cell, and I managed to convince the fucker to go in. So then when 21 come, fuck it, do you know what? But by the time 21 come, I had to build other cells. So that's how I had a prison. I was hiding all these things, all these fucking stupidity behind the doors, because I couldn't let it out. I couldn't show it. In the schemes, because I didn't grow up in one scheme. I was born in Royston, moved into Pilton. I grew up in Pilton. That's where you get your balls and cut your teeth. So it was Muirhouse, Royston, Granton, Wardyburn, Telford, Drylaw, and then we found ourselves doing Stockbridge. Stockbridge was great because my parents, regardless of who my old man was, they were brothers. So they were in Jamaica Street in Stockbridge. My ma was in just off of Rayburn Place in Dean Park Street. My pal moved into Bedford Court, which is off of Dean Park Street. So I felt at home there. I loved it doing there. And we had a ball. The females were in. I knew what I was then. There was no doubt in what I was and how much I enjoyed life. But the crime thing, it was that surrogate that would allow me to be comfortable. And the noise would go away. I was kind of managing it. So you grow and you learn, and life's mistakes are thrown at you anyway. Nothing bad crime-wise. It's silly things. But again, it's the guidance that would take me to certain places.
But it wasn't like you were just inherently fucking bad and you were just going and committing crimes. There was circumstance around it that was driving you in a certain direction.
If you take a victim, and that victim, to me, had two options. Get on or get the fuck off. And I know that sounds harsh, and everybody, no, people will have a difference of opinion. And when 21 came around in 1991, when I'd had enough, it was coming from fucking everywhere. And we've had the personal story, the gangsters and the nightclubs and football hooligans and all this bullshit. That wasn't me. I was a single lone fucking ranger running to wherever I could find. It'd be like jumping on one bus and then it's, that's the last stop, jumping off and jumping onto another one. So if it was breaking into cars, getting the goodies, selling the goodies to get the glue, right, okay, that bus is about to stop, but that's another one. These guys are shoplifting. These guys are doing this, that and other. And again, the guidance would stop me from doing anything that was nasty. So drug-wise, heroin and all that nasty stuff, no for me. Breaking into people's houses, no for me. No, I'd done things that, to me, again, I have to justify it. That's the whole point of shutting my eyes.
Quantify.
I legitimised everything that I'd done, and I know that society has an opinion on it, but if you were to look at the guy that's just stole something without asking why did you steal, because again, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get the barrier. Ask me why I'd done it. Fuck you. That's the game.
Hello.
Fuck you. Come and get me. It wasn't me. I never done it. I've had policemen try to pull my arm out the socket, fucking break my arm whatever to get me to confess. But I was taught the game. So I played the game, and I was fucking good at the game. I never had to confess. I never had to shop anybody else or stick anybody else, because that was the game that I was told was the rules. Sadly, you find out later in life that you're the only idiot that's played that game. Everybody else has already sold you. You're a fucking donut. But hey, that's what you learn. But at 21, that was the final straw. That broke the idiot's back, and I rebelled. So when I'm sitting with the doctors, because they remanded me for the psychiatric reports, because they couldn't understand it, what I had done. It wasn't right. It wasn't rational. But then when you have society kicking the fucking shit at you constantly, child abuse, being associated with murderers, having no money, poverty, drunk fucking parents, everything that surrounded me. And that's why I love the analogy where I grew up in Shit Creek, and I had to put my hands in the jobbies. Of course it's going to fucking smell, of course it's going to stick, it's shite.
It's shite. And I like that thing you said to me once, nobody says, why has he done that? They just say, there's that bad bastard walking up the street that did this, that and that. You know, didn't he talk to him because he'll do this? Nobody actually says, why? And I got that when I got that for you. I was like, do you know what? So many people miss that aspect. Why? What's the reason behind it?
The whole point of this one, if it could be simplified, and I know that I slaver a lot of shite, and it is really difficult for me to put it over because it's 51 years I've tried to put it like about the pages. But see that to me, hopefully, I'd never put anything personal in there, but hopefully that would give an insight to that middle ground.
Yeah.
The people that are educated in books, they're not educated in people. And you have to be a people person. You have to be able to crack that facade or say to them, listen, I know there's a wall there, I'm going to come round, I'm going to kick round the side, and I'm going to find the person that's behind the wall. No, it's no, why did you steal that? Because if you caught me stealing a pie, you're going to say, well, the cunt's hungry. That's why he stole a pie. Why did he steal the car stereo? I wrote another wee one. And again, because the writing thing has always been the best therapy I've ever had, writing in the doodle. The doodle goes for the monkey, the writing is me. So I try and simplify my own life, my own journey to myself by putting in pen and paper. So when I write, there's me, I'm in every bit of it. So I didn't know how to write. I'm not a fucking writer. I wasn't educated at school. I've picked this all up as I went along. All mine. When I met my wife, she was educated, and she was a very, very smart woman. And she had showed me there was more beyond Shit Creek. There was another fucking world. By the time I stepped out, I realised I was in a goldfish bowl, just swimming around with all the sharks, all the jobbies. It's fucking all the same shit soup that you're in. And I realised, fucking hell, there's another world.
There's another world.
I can apply everything that I've learned in that world and throw it out there. That's when I says, I want to go back to fucking school. And that was a TikTok I'd done. That was my words.
Fucking university life. You've already been at uni. You know what I mean?
I've had that one. But I went to Telford College, and I said to him, look, I want to go back to school. And what they'd done was I'd done an introduction to creative writing, counselling, because the mental health thing really appealed to me. I wanted to understand it. And a few other ones, non-verbal communication stuff. That was comms. But they says, you're in the North Campus for that one, da-da-da. I said, right, where's the North Campus? Well, it's the old Ainsley Park High School.
What age are you here, Alan?
Then I was about 26.
So that's 26 that you've gone back into education.
I came out the psychiatrist side, and again, we digress and fly away off. But
sorry, I didn't mean to. No, it was just to get an age, to get timeline.
Well, when I was there with her, and that was the big thing, is where you're saying nobody questions beyond it. The whole point of that was that people would question beyond that. Why is he stealing the radio out of the car? Is it because, and again, the 3-part story that I'd done one because sending that to somebody to edit it, they charge you per letter. There's 250,000 fucking words in it. And I thought, I've not got that kind of money to tell me that it's shite. How can nobody just read it and say, oh, that's pish?
If there's any proofreaders out there looking for a wee story to correct.
Well, what I done was I wrote a wee one, and I found somebody, and I says, look, can you do that? Thinking cleverly, if that's only maybe a couple of thousand words, you're going to charge me £150 to edit that and show me where I've went wrong. I can then apply that same logic to the big ones.
Right.
There it saves me the money. I'll be able to do it myself. Again, I pick things up rather quickly. Monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
I wrote the first one, set that it was a bit haggling in between. I thought, it's good, I'm going to write a second one. And I ended up doing 3. It was a small trilogy. And there's great stories with that. I'd met this woman, this author, and she's signing books. And I said, what is this? It's a trilogy. And I thought, no fucking way. I've just wrote a trilogy, and I've sent it to this woman to get signed off. And here's an author who's done the same thing. I'm thinking, this might actually be a decent thing to do. So we got to edit all 3 of them. And I think I did apply a lot of it to any further writings, but it's a story about a wee guy in 1984, which, hey, I was 14 in 1984. This wee guy's breaking into cars. What fuck me, so was it? It's me. I'm breaking into cars, but he gets caught. But what he's got is somebody's watching him. Somebody's seeing him for the future, and they're there with him.
Well,
so he's relating, saying, oh no, not in my day, we didn't have fucking watches that tell you your phone's ringing in your pocket. What even is that? He's explaining and rationalising what it is that he's doing. He stole the radio, but you've got to stay with him for a wee bit of the journey. It's a very, very short one. But what he's doing is he's showing you that he's in a... No, there's mum and dad and 2 younger brothers. The older brother is in the jail. He's a bastard. That's always referred to as a bastard because he's no the father's son biologically. Again, there's wee bits there that recognisable. And he's a drunk. And he's an abusive drunk. Again, kind of makes sense. So this wee guy, there's no danger that he's going to get the trainers that everybody else in second years got unless he does it himself. So he goes out and he takes the radio knowing that if you can afford the radio in your car, you've got a bit of money because you've actually got a fucking car. So the chances are you've got insurance, you can claim it, and your premiums will go up and all the rest of it. But if you caught a wee guy taking that and he says to you, listen, here's the deal, pal. My old man's an abusive bastard. He batters me, batters my younger brothers, knocks my mum about, doesn't put any contributions to the house because he spends it on drink. I can't get trainers to fucking look after myself. I've got holes in these fucking shoes. I thought that if I take that, you'll get it replaced. You're obviously working, you've got money, so therefore, no, would you give me? If I asked you for 30 quid, you tell me to fuck off. So I take your radio. It's that, and that to me was the best way for me to describe how the writing thing was the benefit for me and for the monkey, because we go out and we done things to justify the existence. Now, when I say that in that sense, that's what the psychiatrist was saying to me, because obviously I love Scotland and I love the history of Scotland. That thing deals with the Knights Templar, Robert the Bruce, treasure on Inchcombe Island. To me, it's a fantastic story because you come out of this fucking dumb fucking lump. But my doctor's name was Mary Stuart, as in Mary Queen of Scots. And you've got to think, it's a bit fucking weird, is it not? But she would say to me, Alan, I find you highly intelligent. I was intelligent because everything I'd done, like I've just said, I justified every fucking reason for it. So where I want to do this is because of that. That makes sense. But you've got to do this. What? That's why I was doing it. Fucking hell, you're giving me too much to think about. So the eventual was, we can't work you out. Because originally it was brain damage, mentally ill, and then by 3 months into it, she's like, were you smoking dope at the time, Alan? Because we can only put it into a drug-induced psychosis. It was because they did not understand the mind. And my whole purpose of digging into mental health was that although there is a lot of comforting, cushioning and everything else, a lot of masquerading any trauma, pain and everything else that the mind is going through, my thing is that when I done the mental health awareness course just last year, got a great certificate. The tutor she was amazing, had all these fucking initials after her name and everything. She was brilliant, because what she done is, it's no read the book, take the question and take the answers for the book and put in, use that. I want you to tell me what you interpret, and I done it, and it was great. That was a great exercise for me. But the one thing that kept showing up through them all, every illness, whether it be bipolar, manic depression, schizophrenia, paranoid schizophrenia, almost the fine line was, although we didn't really know that much about it, and you think, that's the thing, you don't fucking know. So I'm as clever as you are, because I've actually survived this shit. And am I delusional? I don't know, because I didn't trust them to tell me, because they've already declared we didn't really know what happens. I know what happens because I lived it.
And they can't tell you that because they never lived it. You know, they've read it in a book, or they've had it educated. This is what we think, that someone that goes down that path. This is what we think. But you've lived it, so you come at it from a whole other kind of angle. And by the way, was that car a white Fiesta on Ferry Road?
There was a few. Honestly, see the stories in the cars. That's why the wee cars up there. There's the Mark 1 Escorts and the Mark 2 Escorts. The other one is the AMC for a James Bond movie. AMC is my initials. That's the whole purpose
AMC,
of that.
I remember you telling me.
The Mark 1s and the Mark 2s. We're in Fife. And you know Inverkeithing. We had a big garage there when I was 17-year-old.
Right.
I always drifted towards older guys because, like I say, guys my age wanted to do silly fucking things. I couldn't. I had to keep going. And it was only, I would say by the time I got my wee flat in 1989 in West Granton, fucking, you're right in the belly of the beast there.
Sure.
But I was as happy as a pig in shite. I was my own guy. I'd finally grown up. I was selling hash to guys would come down for other schemes. I'd made a name for myself, shall we say, and I didn't take any shite because the monkey was taking control. The monkey could fight, and I learnt how to fight just because no, I wouldn't say bullying. Me and my brother, we fought like cat and dog. Man, we not fuck each other. If there was nobody in the house, the neighbours wanted to call the police because we wouldn't stop.
Right.
It'd be everything. I battered him with a baseball bat, he battered me with a baseball bat, smashed my teeth, I'd smash his, I'd hit him in the face with a cup. Oh man, we scrapped like fuck. But that was only the preparation for going out that front door into the main schemes of Pelton in the mid-80s. You're dealing with venomous people then, the junkies galore. And when I done the grey area thing, one of the guys was taking quotes off us, and it was just a flippant remark that it really worked because you're either in it or it's fucking going to get you. It's as simple as that. And it sounds cliche, and it sounds cliche to the middle class. If they've never been involved, you will never have any idea of what that's like. Yes, is it bravado? Yes. Is it a wall? Yes. But who's behind the wall? Who's behind the facade? Because you've got all these peacocks, and that's what is working the pubs. Because obviously the last main pub I worked was the Gunner. The Gunner's notorious, but I tell you, you'll never meet a nicer bunch of people. What a fucking giggle in there. I would take anybody in there. Anybody at all would come in to meet me. And 90% of, say it was, I don't know, a pal for another scheme or another side of Edinburgh, and he'd be like, oh, Gunner, are you sure? I am sure. You go in there.
I remember the Gunner. I've told you this already, but I mean, I remember the Gunner when I first moved to Edinburgh, fresh out the sticks, sir. You know, and I still had the twang big time, right? Okay, it's left me a wee bit now because I've been across the water, 29 years now. But anyway, first time in Pennywell Place we were. And I remember my first introduction to that area was, I'm living in Muirhouse. What did I care? I came from Burnside Crescent, which was the Muirhouse of this You know, it didn't bother me. I didn't care. He's got ripped jeans, I've got ripped. Who gives a fuck?
That's where the monkey connection comes from, because only a monkey knows a monkey.
And that's it. And I remember going into because I hadn't seen this side of it, or the level of it, right? Because I remember, and I'm with a lassie that lived in the area at the time, and I say to her, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to meet Alison. I'm like, aye. But what are you fucking putting on your jewellery? It wasn't fancy, it was just costume jewellery. But it all got taken off. The earrings come off, the rings come off. They got left on the mantelpiece. And I'm like, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm going up to meet Alison. I'm like, what are you taking all that off? Oh, the fucking junkies and the high-rise. I'll not say the high-rise, but the high-rise, the main one. That's where our pal Alison lived. And she couldn't go in there with anything because it would just get stripped off her.
We had a gang hut in there.
And
that's how it was.
And then the Gunner, as you say, I said to her that time, I was like, right, I'm going in there for a pint. If I can grab by the collar, no, you're not. No, you're not. That's not for you.
Mid-80s, no.
But hey, anyway, sorry, I digress.
No, again, the Gunner was a learning curve in itself. I was in there at 17-year-old. I was in there fraternising with the local hoodlums, the big boys.
Right.
We actually, going in there, at 17. I know for a fact it was 17 because I emptied a van full of disco equipment in the back door. Right. Long story again. But fast forward to 20... The guy that ended up taking it over, he managed to coerce me into taking a job. And I went up the stairs. I hadn't been up the stairs since the last night I'd been in there in my teens. And what we were doing was we stripped the place. We sold fucking everything. The pictures on the wall, we sold them. You know, you'd be in another pub and you're like, I've fucking seen the pictures before. We sold them to you. Cameras, the whole lot. We sold everything, tills, everything. One of the last nights, somebody had asked us if we could get them seating. Right. I'm up the stairs with a saw going through the seating in the upstairs lounge of the disco. Somebody, shh, police. Look to, I'm standing on the top of the stairs, pishing down the stairs, watching the police because they can't get in. We're locked in. And I can see them out the window, but they can't see us. And drove away. Thought, do you know what, fucking leave it. The next again day, the brewery cupboard had just changed everything. They changed our looks because we had the keys to get into the place. And I went up with the new guy that was running it. 10 years later, there's the saw still stuck in the fucking chair. Crazy. But again, there are these paths that you have to walk twice. And that's when I went back eventually. I enjoyed it. I loved it in there. Like I say, great people. The first IKEA advert, because I was doing the college course round the corner, computing was one that stuck. The rest of it kind of rubbish.
So this is like Pilton, Granton, Muirhouse, where you're at the shopping centre.
That's the gunner.
Yeah.
The old bookies in there, Telford College taking over and started doing this computing course. And one of the courses, I was one of the first guy. Well, I was the first person in them and amongst them that had done all 7 modules. It was European Driver's Licence and Computing Studies. Telford College offered me a job teaching other monkeys. and that's what I called everybody, and they were all monkeys. Everybody was a monkey. That's how I know it's an old thing. It's not new to me. And they offered me a job, and I was like, fuck off, are you nuts? Me, a teacher? You didn't do as you tell, I'm scudding you, that's it, you're going in the cupboard. I wasn't for that at all. But in doing that, one of the lecturers that was teaching me there, a fantastic woman, Morag, she got me to do the IKEA advert. And that was the first one. But as it turned out, there was 2 of them, which then led to the movie, which then led to a musical. And you think, this is just fucking bizarre. I'm a scumbag that's hidden behind a wall all his fucking life, dealing with the adverse fucking shite that comes for society, living in shit creek, paddling about in this fucking rubbish.
And here you're being asked to fucking teach people.
Exactly.
You're being asked to be in a movie, an advert. You're now being asked to be in a fucking movie.
Honestly, they things to me were hilarious. And being in the gunner when the first commercial come on, seeing myself on the telly was fucking hilarious. The whole pub's fucking ripping the piss at me. People are ripping the piss at me because they thought it was hilarious. People asking for your autograph and things like that. Fuck off, it's me, you daft cunt. But then I used a jeweller in Stockbridge. Again, I loved Stockbridge. And I was in there one day and he was looking at something for me. He said, I saw you at the weekend, Alan. I says, what about? Ibrox. I said, you never fucking saw me at Ibrox. He says, oh, I fucking did. He says, half time, you come over across the big screen. I was like, no danger. That was a biggie for me. I thought, that's fucking hilarious. And then when I done the movie, that was again through Morag. Going to the red carpet, doing all the rest of it was hilarious. But seeing it with an audience, because the in-laws come down and we went to see it in Tollcross up that end, and see the reaction for the audience was fucking, it was brilliant. But again, seeing yourself up there and you think, wow, it makes all the trauma, every adverse fucking bullshittery, you just kind of like, do you know what, shove it up your ass, you're never going to touch me, my head's that high, without the glue, without the drugs, without the drink, without any of it, I didn't need it. Life inspires me. And now obviously I have 3 daughters that inspire me. My wife inspires me, life inspires me, this stuff inspires me, writing inspires me, drawing. Right now, I don't think there's enough time on my calendar to squeeze in what I would want today, because it is a big, to me, I've never had a plan. I had a plan of if I go to sleep, the plan would be if I can wake up in the morning, fucking yes, I've scored again. Now, I've tried to implement a 5-year plan. That would be one. Doing this is another. Only because he's starting that TikTok thing off, because as you can see, I've been trying, I've tried.
You've been,
and my whole purpose has been about helping people. So now I kind of have that plan that to get the message across. It doesn't matter how adverse the
because it took you a long time to find you
100%
out of all this. So, but now that you have found you, it's like, right, okay, I'm a teacher. I can teach. Well, with a degree.
I would never blow my own trumpet in that sense. But
you can teach.
I can assist.
You can maybe put somebody in the right direction.
Hopefully, yeah.
Or say, well, look, pal, if you do that or you do this, here's outcomes.
Yeah, exactly. That's the scenario. So when you nip the young guys in the bud and you say to them, right, okay, let's have a look. Let's see what's available to you. You're in Shit Creek. You know it's Shit Creek. It has to be Shit Creek because it's shite. Everything around about you is shite. It doesn't matter if your cottons are fucking 300 quid or no. You're still standing there in a tracksuit, but you're not going to the gym. Look at what's around about you. That guy's got fancy cars. He's got fucking money. He's driving in this, that and the other. What does he do?
Check his bird and all that, the usual.
The whole shooting match is head to toe in Prada. What does he do? he sells heroin. Right, okay, let's fast forward 5 years. You want to go on that thing. How are you going to get on it when your mum's on heroin? And you've not got a fucking leg to stand on because you can't even feed yourself. You've got to go out and try and make amends meet because of that.
We're back to the stereo and the Fiesta here.
Exactly.
The start.
You have to climb in order to get to where he is. But look at the damage that's being done around about you. And I do. I mean, each to his own and the day their own thing. I'm not a fan. Never have been a fan, especially when it comes to that. Because I grew up, I was an 80s kid. These young guys, they have no idea what the 80s were like, and it's no the same now. They can weak somebody's phone off them, make that. I couldn't weak a fucking phone. I had to break into a rugby player's car, take his stereo, go to a shark who's going to try and rip me fucking off if I can get from A to B, because I've got to go for Sam and Stockbridge, and I've borrowed a guy's radio. I've got to avoid him, first and foremost. I've got to avoid the feds all the way down to get back into the hood. Once I enter into Shit Creek, I've got every fucking rat snake bastard that's there who's going to see that bulge and say, what you got? What's that? Let me fucking see it. Give me that. You go to the sales rep and you say to him, da-da-da, give me 30 quid. Fuck no, listen, I'll give you 20 quid. Oh no, I need 30. I need a new pair of trainers. I'm not going to tell them that. They're going to bump you anyway. So it become very, very difficult to do these things. So for the young guys now, if you say to them, listen, just fast forward, go forward and see, are you going to... You start off, you see the guy with all the bling and all the rest of it, you want that. I'm going to go for that. So there's steps you have to take. If you can avoid every pitfall, every snake, every fucking rodent, all the way up to snakes and ladders, it's another game. You get to the top, you've achieved it. You're standing on top of the mountain. You've got the Gucci gear. You've got everything. You've got the Ferraris sitting there. Whatever you want, whatever your dream entails. Now just look back down the hill. Look at the fucking destruction. Look at the kids wearing care because their mother's OD'd on the smack that you sell to get a new pair of rubbers. That does my nothing. It does my nothing in the sense that young guys didn't see it. But now I know for a fact that the youth of the day are seeing it. They're not seeing it as a clever way to go.
No.
Because you've got all this. If you've got a wee story to tell, one of the guy that had done the grey area with Gary Fraser, great guy, and he's doing his bit. He's always back in the community trying to uplift these young guys. If the police and the powers that be, if they would get behind it and realise that, listen, the stigma that you're putting on them by the pressure, you're putting fuel in a fire. The wee guys will go out and if they were stealing motorbikes, I mean, we never, although we did steal motorbikes, we found it safer to, hang on, if I steal a radio and buy trainers. If I steal 4 radios, I can buy a motorbike. Police can't take it off me, fuck you, and then just drive up and down the railway, giving it the big one, having a laugh and all that. We done all that. So now the wee guys will take a bike, whether they buy it or steal it or whatever. Police will not engage them. I've got a hole in my hand and a hole in my knee. The police the old railway line, obviously a straight line. I flew up that way. They've saw me. You could drive on and you could drive up the old railway or down the old railway. Before they turned into cycle paths, it was a railway, but all the sleepers and all the metal had went because when the heroin kind of faded out, all the guys put their money into big vans and burning gear and went on and burnt all the steel and scrapped it.
Makes sense.
That's a runway. So we used to drive up and down them all the time with our bikes, but they drove on. So like I say, he could drive up or he could drive down. Then he drove and sat right across it. I'm flat out on my wee GP 125, mine, legitimate, 75 mile an hour. A guy on the back, the guy in the back turned out to be a mad murderer. Hit the police car, went flying over it, fucker almost killed me. I just saw the ground coming towards my face and I thought, the guy got the handlebars, opened them up right down here. Got me, lifted me, took me to the hospital, and I thought, nice guys, thanks lads, you saved my life there. Fucking, although you nearly killed me, you saved my life. No, we're not letting you go. We're actually getting the railway board so that we can charge you for disqualified driving. I say, I'm only 15, you daft cunt, I've not even got a licence. He says, exactly, smart ass. And they done me. And see, to this day, you think about it, I was on private property. You can't charge me for it, but they fucking did, and they made it stick, and I went to court, and I got my first ever ban. So when you take these wee instances, that's why you're throwing them about, and you're wrestling.
Fuel in the fire,
It was just that way, that's all it was, But crazy, I mean, all these stories are fucking, they're funny. They're funny in the ha-ha sense, and I can make them sound even better. Every one of them has a giggle to it. But it's no glorifying at all. It's survival.
Exactly, it's survival, and it's stories that will resonate with some young guys. 100%. Even though times have changed, it will still resonate with, because it doesn't matter what year it is, the fundamentals are the same. You know, you're having to grab that
but
to get this.
That's what it is. It's the wee guys that are behind the wall. If they put up the facade and they're just doing it out of bravado to the rest of the boys that they're in with the gang because they're hiding for something that's there, my thing would be, didn't build the fucking wall. Didn't accept it. You didn't have to take it. If there is abuse, whether it be schools, police or whatever, stand up for yourself. Scream, shout, do whatever the fuck you have to do. If it's physical abuse, mental abuse, any at all, stand up. Make your voice be heard, because when you retreat behind that wall, the wall just gets bigger and bigger, and you distance yourself further and further. The person you put in front of it is a persona. It's no you. You're hidden, and that's what I'm saying. I ran that fucking fast. I left the wee guy. Me and the monkey, we took on the world. That's where the personality splits. So you can be two different people. I can be in a conversation with...
I love the fact that we've got to a point, even through just talking, where it's, now we've got the wee guy, we've got the monkey, and we've got you.
That's what I mean.
And you hit on that earlier. It's a trilogy. It's
there
amazing.
Has to be. And again, that's only me working out. James, I didn't have the medical profession give me any advice.
But they fuckers don't know what they're doing anyway. They've told you.
If you gave some... Well, think of it that way. If there's somebody out there that has been diagnosed with split personality disorder, they're medicated, they're told to turn it off. And what they do is they'll go like that, right? Okay, so what's the problem? I'm hearing voices. Right, okay, try this. Can you still hear them? Aye. Try this then. Is it what? It's just vaguely. I can hear them now and again. Right, try this. Is that working? I'm a fucking drooling bastard, because you've just, all you've done is just went and you've took my mind away from what it is. Where my thing is,
or you've got the cunt glue, essentially. You know what I mean? But you know, you've got all that, and it might have this name, but essentially you've just gave that fucker glue to shut him up. What you've done is you've got a noise that's at that level, and they're just bringing the noise down. Whereas I'm saying to you, my way was backwards. I had the fucking noise, and it just kept pounding and pounding and pounding. The only way I could do it was to run away for the fucker, get to 21-year-old and think, fuck you, and you run back and you just smash right into it. Yes, it ended up ugly. Yes, again, when you're told at 21 that you have brain damage, and you're like, yes, that explains it. That makes it fucking, that makes sense of it. Oh, the journey to here is justified now. And then they change their mind, like, I think it might just be a bit of brain damage. Right, okay. We'll wire you up and we'll see what's happening. We'll get your mother in. We'll have conversations and cups of tea and biscuits and shit. But now we're fucked, darling, because we can't understand what's happening. You're like, well, you're not good to me, because I want to tell you what I really think, but you've only got me to about 55, 60%. There's a part of me that you're never going to get to, because you didn't have the tools to open me up. And if you split the monkey... Monkey. Mon is my French. The key. It's the key to opening me. Now, we're opening me up just organically. They've tried it with medication. That Legato shit. It never fucking touched me. I know it knocks out elephants. A couple of the guys would say to me, oh, you know, get me some of it. Yeah. I gave the one guy, he went away to visit, he come back, and I watched him coming across the yard with his shoes, and he was like that. He was having a ball. See the bother I got into for that, because they sent me to a visit. I passed him, and he's nice. He says, oh, I've got a wee bird to come and visit you. I thought, magic, I'll get moved for the day. I went over, everybody's in, doors have shut. Hang on, this is peculiar. I says to the guy next to me, look at this cunt. What do you mean now? I said, look at who's come up. Oh, there's nobody there. I know. I had a conversation, Judge, for about 20 minutes. With nobody. Nobody there. Every officer in that place was sitting on the edge of their chair. Like, what the fuck did they do, this monkey? They're gaming like actors. There's no more they can do. The straight jacket, the rubber room, it's no word. They done that, and it was purely because they had said that the guy was on a visit and he had taken drugs on the visit. It was the rain gear that I gave him. So when I went back, they ghosted me up and put me in because they would say to me, oh, what cell do you want to go in? I would pick. I'll go in that one. There was some dangerous bastards in there at the time. And we had gang huts. They used to chap the door. And is Alan there? It's just weird stuff. Because I'm not a jail man. I didn't do the jail. I've been in 4 times. I've no fucking idea what happened. There was only no more than maybe a couple of months. But
when I realised, the guy says, "Oh no, he's been carried." He's been carried. He's been taken away. Playing games are there. Let's play, shall we? So I went into the dining hall, and everybody's there. The dining hall's out with the main old. It was the old D hall. So you marched in the corridor, go there. Everybody's had their tea. And, right, first row up you come, and back. Nobody's moving. What? I said, the first one needs to move. I'm going to fucking poke your eyes and tickle the back of your brain, you cunt. Oh my God! Oh, what's happening? Why did you send me a visit just so you could take him away? You're implying I'm a fucking idiot. No, Alan, look, he's still there. He's there. And what they'd done was the officers disappeared. Had a row of cons, and I walked through them all, go back up. This big laddie with a spy hose. Look, he's in there now. There's a cell door. I peeked in. There is a guy under a blanket, but the blanket's over his head. I'm like, you can't fucking down. You got one that side of the door, one that side of the door. Fuck you, get him out. And I was there for the fight. It didn't matter what face was on it. I knew it was a demon behind the face that was trying to get me. Or that's what my mind presumed. So he went like that, and he went like that. He put his arm, nice comforting gesture. And it was him. That's what I says to him. I says to him, you put your fucking hand on me, I'm going to poke your fucking eyes, I'm going to tickle the back of your brain. Open the fucking door, for fuck's sake. I've went in, pulled the blanket, and there he is. He's like, I heard you shout, but I was just having a bit of a gouch. The other guy says to me, they had the riot gear with the big sticks, they were going to smash your fucking head.
Ready,
thought, Jesus, man. So no fun in that like that, in the darky. But again, it was the encounter with the doctors and the medication. It didn't work. It did nothing for me at all. It was only me, myself, and I that got through it. And then when I met my wife, because when I come out at 22, the wings had been clipped and I'd burnt some fucking nasty bridges. And I had to rebuild all that, and I'd done really well, I think. There was still a few guys that maybe were upset, but I think I'd done really well. And then I grew for there, and I'd understood the game, and I thought, well, let's play the game then. So I played it, and I was really fucking good at it. I had everything I wanted. I wasn't sitting with jet skis and everything else. I got told about the proceeds of crime, and I thought, well, there's no point in making loads of money and buying houses. I'll just take it off you.
Take it off you,
I would just live a comfortable life. I never done anything bad whatsoever. I mean, you're talking about maybe the guys for your end, I would go shopping for them and just make wages that way. I wasn't harming anyone at all. To me, recreational drugs, i.e. smoking dope, I never saw any harm in it. I never ever saw anybody OD on dope. I swallowed an ounce myself because I thought the boys were going to turn me over. And what a dunt. I was out for days.
I was going to say, how many weeks was that? Or was it a week? 10 days?
Guys
a week to 10 days.
Try that. What's the fucking point? I just got to do nothing to me. It just burst inside me. So yeah, I mean,
it's
bad.
It's a story and a half, man, and I love it. I love the fact that I know we're scratching the surface here, but we're an hour in.
Are we?
Aye. And literally we've scratched the surface, and I'm thinking, do we carry on, or do we...
It's entirely up to you.
Do we keep going, or do we keep them hungry for more? Oof. Because I think there's a few times where your age bracket say you've got to 21, 22, we've went to 26, we're back to the 20s again.
If we're still in the 20s.
And I think if... I personally, but I'm willing to keep going if you want. But I think that's a good wee bit to end on, because there we are at the 20s, we've got a wee bit more of the story, a wee bit more of the gist, a wee bit more of the reason for us being here, sitting here and doing this. And I think next week or the week after we do another hour.
If that's a hook to bring them,
that's what I'm thinking. I didn't want to just blurt it out, because we've not got. We'd be here tomorrow, and we're only still at 30, maybe. You know what I mean? So
there's weekends in my life that will take an hour. And
we've said this for the start. This isn't 5 minutes. This isn't an hour's podcast. This is weeks and weeks.
The main focus to me would be that, because that leads on to, or not so much it leads